Taylor, there were so many winning plays in that one, but is there any in particular that stand out as, maybe the difference in such a close game like this?
I'd say it was probably portions of the game. Obviously, playing with the 20-point lead is really hard to do in the NBA. We're learning that. Everyone's been through that before, but great resiliency. Going down 5. Only up 1 at halftime. 5 going to the fourth quarter. I thought there was a stretch there, end of the third, especially start of the fourth, where we just started getting some stops, and the pace was ridiculous for us. I mean, the ball movement, the half court, 28 assists. Got a lot of great open looks. A lot of guys shot the ball well tonight. Obviously, JJ had a huge run there. But I'd say equally as good as our offense was, our defense fueled that. I mean, the rebounding, the switching, guarding one-on-one, we did a much better job in those situations from, the first half. And then I'd say end of game, crucial moments, execution on offense, got to find ways to get better. That starts with me, putting our guys in good spots. But, sat out of bounds execution and a game defensive execution. Luckily Jokic missed a short one there. But, the couple of situations where both teams were calling timeouts, our guys came out and beautifully executed what the game plan was.
Taylor, you guys have been saying, don't worry about Jaren. You guys were confident he was going to continue to find ways. And just when he hit that 3-pointer in the third quarter, did you just sense that he had started to kind of like get his confidence going for the fourth?
Yeah, big time. I mean, obviously, I don't even think it's, shot related. Obviously, he had a big offensive night. But, his spirits were great throughout. I know he was kind of, trying to find his groove there. But in the second half, his switching ability, rebounding ability, he had 3 block shots. And I think 2 of them were on jump shots, like going out and contesting, out on the perimeter. That really got him going. Obviously, credit his teammates, finding him, him finding the right spots, shooting with confidence and saying, just keep putting the work on both ends of the floor. And this is a product of all that kind of paying off in a night. And, hopefully this keeps, pushing them game after game.
Taylor, I know you said earlier this year, the sample size is too small for determining if you're really gaining on closing out games. You've been closing out games against really good teams. So how do you think that's going to lead going further into the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think our guys have a great ability to, learn stuff on the fly in the meat of the game. We've been intentional about our practice time, film sessions, talking about situational management, end of quarters, end of halves, but especially end of games. Definitely can find ways to get better offensively, a little bit more variety. That's on me. But, sat out of bounds execution, as I mentioned, that's crucial situations. Details have to be good. We've got situational defense at the end of the game. That's not something we always use throughout the game. Our guys have just really embraced it. They've been locked in those moments where we've taught that. And, luckily it's paid off, here early in the season. But hopefully that just gives you confidence. We've been in this moment before. We've played with a lead. We've played from behind. We've been there. But now at the end of the game, how are we going to close out? We've been here before. The ball's maybe not always going to bounce your way. But if you're doing what you need to do, you're going to set yourself up, hopefully, to be successful.
Taylor, so in that late third, early fourth stretch that you pointed to earlier, Jaren got a lot of those minutes at the 5 and a lot of those matched up against Jokic. Just how impressed were you not only with like his rim shot alteration and that, but also with just his defensive discipline as well? I think he had like 3 fouls tonight.
Yeah, no, big time. I mentioned the block shots. I mentioned the rebounds. Jokic, obviously, hell of a player. They started putting us in positions where their guard was playing really well. He's picking and popping, the threat from the 3-point line. But there was a lot of discipline between understanding, was Jokic popping? Was he rolling? Was the guard really getting downhill? So the nuances of, one of our defenses, I thought he did a great job in that. A couple of great alterations at the rim, like you talked about. When he did have to switch on a guard, great contest, got a couple blocks. But a lot of that was just, the attention to detail that whatever the situation on a given play was it roll, pop, or a downhill attack or not, we had 2 different coverages that we needed to execute on a given possession. And he did a great job there. The team did a great job, doing that. And I think that was a difference maker to help get the stops that we needed to then get out and run.
Coach, your bench outscored them 34-17, and Zhaire Williams got that going in that first quarter. What can you say just about him in that shot? Because he said after practice that eventually it was going to go down and he was going to continue to keep taking them.
Yeah, I think, he's heard it from a lot of people, especially his teammates, keep trusting the work, keep you in the right spots and keep shooting it. Don't hesitate. I know the other night he got a couple great looks that didn't fall tonight in that first half. Teammates were finding him just like the other night. Didn't hesitate, was letting it fly. Had, a big stretch there with a couple of made threes. So love the confidence that, he's putting in with his work and knowing that's going to pay off in the game.
Taylor, the first time Ja went to the bench was when Denver made that big run. But the second time you mentioned Jaren had that spurt on his own. What's the key to making sure that the offense stays at the same level when he comes out of the game, given just what he brings offensively?
When Ja comes out of the game? Yeah, I mean, obviously we talk about the depth of our team. Everyone can make an impact out there. You know, our style of play doesn't really change. You know, the personnel changes, but our style of play, you know, what we got to do on the defensive end, but especially offensively, the ball movement's key. You know, so when you're getting scoring production, assist production, pace production, you know, from the bench unit, that's just going to set other guys up, you know, to make an impact. Obviously, you know, I'm playing with the combos a little bit, but JJ obviously, you know, playing with the second unit tonight, Tyus distributing the ball, other guys running the lanes. It just creates driving lanes and opportunities to get open looks. So, you know, I just expect them to keep playing the same way. For Jaren, for the successful, I mean, we just had to find our groove. I mean, obviously it was good early, you know, in the first quarter, obviously an 18-point lead, and then they kind of smacked us. You know, I think just in general as a team, we weren't getting loose balls and all that, and it just kind of, you know, sent a vibe, you know, throughout the team where just shots were short and we weren't playing with the pace, and you know, just our urgency wasn't there. So then I think in the second half, you know, they went on a run there early in the third. We called another timeout. It was just a reset moment, honestly. So, and Ja takes that upon himself. The team took it upon himself. Hey, let's get out there, keep fighting. We had 22 more minutes left of basketball to go out there and play. And we found a way to win a game. Thanks, everybody.